For the last 120 years, the main doors of the Konark Sun Temple in Odisha have been sealed shut with thick walls of brick. Today, the Archaeological Survey of India refuses to crack them open. When doors stay locked for a century, the information vacuum is filled by myth. Claims of hidden treasure rooms, a 52-ton ship-sinking magnet at the summit, and a construction process that completely avoided the use of metal dominate the conversation around the site. The structural reality of Konark relies on the principles of metallurgy, astronomy, and heavy civil engineering. The original project was a massive undertaking. Builders set out to construct a 227-foot-tall stone structure directly on a sandy, shifting coastline. Understanding why those doors remain permanently blocked requires a technical autopsy of the ancient science used to raise this temple and the specific physical forces that eventually tore it apart. In 1250 AD, King Narasimhadevan I of the Eastern Ganga dynasty ordered a temple's construction to serve as an offensive geopolitical statement of power. Northern India was falling under the Delhi Sultanate, and Bengal was occupied by aggressive rulers. The king intended for this temple to broadcast the unconquerable status of his empire. This statement required 12 years of the state's entire revenue and a team of 1,200 elite engineers. They moved thousands of tons of stone across complex river networks on wooden rafts to reach the construction site on the beach. The base of the temple features 24 massive stone wheels. These function as highly precise scientific instruments. Each wheel is a sophisticated sundial. 8 primary spokes divide the 24-hour cycle into 3-hour blocks. Sunlight hitting the center hub casts a shadow across the outer rim's tiny beads. Each bead represents 3 minutes, allowing time calculations down to the minute. To maintain accuracy as the sun's angle changed with the seasons, the 13th century astronomers mathematically embedded the Earth's solstices and seasonal shifts into the angles of the carvings. The temple's base was a massive, interactive cosmic calculator, requiring only sunlight and astronomical knowledge to operate. Beyond astronomy, the structure showcases advanced metallurgy. Detailed evidence at the site contradicts claims that the temple was built using only interlocking stones. Builders utilized 20-foot-long, multi-ton wrought iron beams to support the heavy stone ceilings. Despite 800 years of exposure to the salty, humid air of the Bay of Bengal, these beams show virtually no rust. Odishan blacksmiths used a technique similar to the one seen in the Iron Pillar of Delhi. By repeatedly heating and hammering the iron, they purged impurities while increasing phosphorus levels, creating a permanent, anti-corrosive layer on the surface. This massive volume of iron likely inspired the legend of a ship-sinking magnet at the temple's peak. In reality, local shipwrecks were caused by shallow, hidden sandbanks, geographic hazards that fearful sailors blamed on magnetic forces. While the magnet was a myth, the collapsed main sanctum was real. The surviving hall is 128 feet, but the original tower rose to 227 feet. Its failure was driven by geology, as the immense vertical weight exceeded the sandy foundation's load-bearing capacity. Chemical degradation accelerated the process. Salty air reacted with porous stone, turning solid blocks fragile. As the foundation shifted and stone degraded, the center of gravity moved off-axis. The resulting torque bent the internal iron beams until the entire 227-foot structure collapsed. The destruction of the main temple was an inevitable physical reaction between unprecedented human ambition and the limits of the natural environment. By the early 1900s, the surviving 128-foot assembly hall was on the verge of its own collapse. The stones were buckling, and the interior framework had reached a breaking point. To prevent the total loss of the site, British authorities under Lord Curzon initiated a radical preservation project in 1903. Engineers drilled through the roof and poured sand into the interior for 3 straight years, eventually packing the entire hall solid. This sand provides the outward pressure necessary to keep the weakened walls from caving in. Opening the doors today would create a vacuum, causing the remaining 128-foot structure to collapse in seconds. While the interior is physically blocked, the entrance statues display a clear philosophical message. A lion tramples an elephant, which in turn crushes a human being. The sequence symbolizes power overcoming wealth, and wealth overwhelming human greed. an ancient warning about the consequences of unchecked ambition. This theme of ambition is echoed in the legend of Dharmapada, a 12-year-old boy who reportedly solved the mathematical finality of the temple's roof when the 1,200 adult engineers could not. According to the story, the boy jumped from the summit to ensure the engineers wouldn't be punished for their failure, illustrating the extreme pressures behind the temple's construction. The Konark Sun Temple stands as a monument to scientific brilliance and the physical reality that all engineering must ultimately yield to the laws of nature.